Unfortunately, ladies, there are only a few good men left in the world safe enough to marry, and only God knows where they are. In all fairness, though, all men do have a measure of goodness in them. It's just the seed is buried so deep in many of them that it's going to take a while before they grow up. So understand that the longer we keep sleeping around with them, the longer we keep serving them as wives without them being our husbands, the longer we're going to be left with this shortage of good men in the world. I wish my sister was here to hear this. She's been living with this guy for 7 years now. He proposed to her 2 years ago, but every time I ask her when they're going to get married, she changes the subject. Sounds like he's stringing her along if you ask me. He's still asleep. Did you notice how Eve didn't bother Adam while he was asleep in the garden? She let him lay there until he woke up. The problem is, too many women are taking men's sleep. They're trying to wake them up themselves. But just like Eve did, they need to let men lay there until they wake up on their own. Well, Markeita and Nikki, we've made it to chapter 19, shower tips. So today we're going to discuss when women unite. So for a quick recap of the chapter, Dolores and her friend Brittany were invited to this or this bridal shower rather. And at the bridal shower, they end up in this conversation with a few women, and they were actually discussing a plethora of things from how sometimes we can be so desperate to date men, to marriage, and how to view it. But one thing that stood out was when this young lady, she shared the story about how her aunt and her mother spent a lot of her younger years going hard or working hard for men who really didn't help her out, and all it seemed to do was leave her or leave them with like more responsibility. And so my first question geared to you, Marquita, first is what reason? Well, I guess before I ask this question, I want to kind of interject kind of a personal issue or situation. When I got or became single after being married, I prayed and I asked God to make me okay with being where I am so I can kind of just enjoy singleness before I got married again. And so my view of my single life was me um, hooking up with other single women, traveling the world, just living life and, even buying up real estate, going into business. Well, to my surprise, a lot of the women, at least the women who were around me, were really not interested. They, kind of, some of them had the view of like, well, I don't want to buy real estate until I get married with my boo. And so my thought was kind of like, well, whether you're single or married, you need a place to stay. So I just kind of didn't see why waiting until they had a man to buy real estate was something they had to do, because you can always buy. I've owned many properties, so I know for a fact you don't have to just live in one property for the rest of your life. You can do it again. Or even just traveling. Like, I didn't have a lot of people around me who traveled. And so I did some things, but it wasn't what I had in mind. And so I want to ask this question, Markeita, what reason would you give for so many women working so hard to keep a man who may not even be contributing to the household rather than getting together with other women, collaborating, and going into business?
Well, I think that it all boils down to insecurity and desperation. And as the older lady said in that chapter, she said that, some of you women are so desperate for a man that you'll actually be with a man who has no job. And like, I'm like, dang, that's some shade. Like, okay, I don't know who she talking about. Okay, all right. But that really kind of like made the most sense to me because again, a lot of women want to be married. A lot of women want companionship. So women will take the first thing that they may see that they feel is good or is right or they're in love, the person that they think they're in love with, and they will be with him and he really ain't all that cracked up to be. But essentially you only just keeping him around because again, he's a body, he's a presence, and I don't want to be lonely. So again, desperation and insecurity because a lot of women are very insecure about who they are, what season they're in, where they're at, their past relationship issues. Like if they're able to find somebody, they're just grateful that they found somebody. So
Yeah. What about you, Nikki? Why do you think, in your opinion, why so many women would rather go hard for a man who's not contributing anything versus hooking up with another woman who's, working hard and wants to collaborate with buying property, starting a business, whatever.
Um, for me, that question is mostly because, well, a lot of times I feel that we might have seen our whoever the person that raised us seen them do the same thing, so they feel like it was okay if my mom did it, my grandma did it, then I can do it too. It's okay. So your mindset's already set that way. When you get older, nobody's untaught that from you. So I can see learning it. Low self esteem, really feeling like they just need a bed warmer, just somebody there. Doesn't matter who it is. As long as I can say, as Marquita would say, as long as I can say I have a man, even if it's crap and he treats you jacked up, you got a whole man. And that is the goal. We didn't set no other goals. For what?
Oh, yeah. I would say, yeah, I definitely agree with you. They're married to the idea that any man is better than no man. Um, and then I would have to say that a lot of us are just really married to this fairy tale. Like it's almost like a controlling thing. Like I'm going to make you into what I want you to be. Kind of playing God, because God is the only one who can actually change somebody's heart, and just putting all that time and effort into trying to make him be what they want him to be, and finding out in the end that it never usually works out. So, Marquita, this next question. Do you think it's wise for women to spend most of their money on hair, nails, and clothes in order to get a man?
nah. Um, of course not. I personally feel like it's just a waste of money. It's a waste of energy trying to spend most of your money just to keep up a physical appearance, just keep up something that you're not gonna look that good forever. Like I don't think people realize that when they put their all into the designer clothes and these Edward Scissorhand nails that a lot of women like to have. Um, and I think it attracts the wrong type of man. And what I mean by that is you're basically attracting a little boy. So when you think about it, all kids are like this, but again, boys like things that they can play with. Boys like, ooh, that's shiny. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, I like that color. Ooh, I can have a good time with this. This is so cool. He just want to play with you, sis. That's literally all it is. You're just a toy. You're just an object. Just the apple of his affections, pretty much. It's like that's all that he cares about. It's just how you look. And even scripture says this many times, but more specifically, In Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30, it says, "Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised." So basically saying that, hey, listen, God don't really care about what you wear. He don't care about none of that. He cares about what goes inside here. He cares about him. He cares about you fearing him, whether that's just talking to him, praying to him, loving on him, keeping his word near your heart. That's the real beauty for God. So how dare we try to go around that and look for a man that only cares about your physical appearance? That doesn't make any sense. And we're supposed to be after men who, I don't want to say after men, but we're supposed to be with men who are men that actually live by the scripture, men that actually don't really care about how you look. And yeah, attractiveness here, of course people care about that, but it shouldn't be the determining factor of whether or not a man wants to be with you or not. And scripture literally says, and actually in First Peter chapter 3, verse 3, literally speaks to this very question. Don't be concerned about what the outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. Instead, worry about the beauty that's on the inside. Scripture literally says, man, as in mankind, looks at the outward appearance while God looks at the heart. So why should you feel the need to spend all, even some women spend their last, just
Hmm.
that
Mhm.
last week man, got the HD lace, got it all laid to the gods. But you want to do all that and get a Louis V and Birkins and all this kind of stuff just for what? Because at the end of the day, when we're all dead and gone, you can't take no Birkin with you when you're dead. What you gonna do with that? Everything on this earth is temporary. So why do you feel the need to just unwisely spend your hard-earned money just to grab a man's attention? That is a problem. So
And honestly, to be truthfully honest, most of the time we flossing all that stuff around men who can't even afford it. It's like it's like coming around people who just regular middle class workers with, I don't know, like Gucci and all these, like, we, for one, we don't, that's not like common everyday thing. So you flossing, you doing all of this to floss around people. For one, at first glance, they might even not even know what you're wearing unless they look at the tags, and they still may not know the value of what you have on. So you don't even really have to go that hard around people who just kind of regular.
Exactly right about that.
So now, Nikki, this same question. Do you think it's wise for women to spend most of their money on hair, nails, and clothes just to get a man?
No, because a lot of times, when you take all that stuff off, what's underneath all that hair and nails and things like that? I never really, I would get my nails done sometime, but I work in the health field, so I can't have Edward Scissorhand nails and coffin nails and all that stuff. Mine have to be little and short, and then I do little girl hair. So then I need to be able to do that, take your blood pressure, change your diaper. I need to be able to do all those things. And that never stopped me from getting a man. It never stopped me getting my hair done. I would get my hair done once a month. I've never got my feet done till recently. And I still could get a man without doing any of that. All my hair has been mine. Only thing I didn't like braids. I love braids. I'm not a wig girl. I tried to buy me some wigs, y'all. I
And
said
work out.
nope, nope, definitely did not work out. It did not. I just threw them in the garbage. I said it's not for me. It's just not for me. No, no, no. What is that? Front laces. None of that wrap on, glue on the hair, sew hands. My head is too little. I like a mop. I'm not. No, you can't give me $500. No, you know I could do it $500.
I know,
a lot.
girl.
A piece
Yes,
of hair, girl. Come to my
yeah.
house. I can color your hair, and we can. I can glue it on if you want me glue. And I'm $500. This is way. for some 30 inches of hair that you definitely finna jack up eventually.
Yeah. Well, I've never been. It's crazy because I can't do wigs only because it's something about that cap that my hair is like, no, we don't, my scalp, we don't like it. But I can do sew-ins. Like I can do sew-ins or crochets. But as far as wigs, I've never, my hair, my scalp have never liked it. And I'm not, now my opinion about this is definitely no. Um, now, if you can afford it, fine, but to go broke to try to, that's just not wise. And from a biblical standpoint, I think of the 10 virgins, and you have five who were wise and five who were not wise, and they were waiting for the bridegroom to come. And so we had some who they had their lamps rather. So five had the additional oil just in case their lamps ran out, and then the others just they were so confident that the bridegroom was going to come out when they wanted him to come out that they didn't bring extra oil. And so when they ran out, they were trying to get the oil from the other five, and they was like, no, I need this for my lamp. And so they left, and when they left, the bridegroom came out, and the ones who were prepared, they were uh able to go into the wedding or whatever they were waiting for, they were able to go in there. So I look at it like this. When we're unwise with our money and we're spending it on hair, nails, and clothes, we're thinking while we're spending the money, while we have the energy to work hard, just go to work and then spend our money, we think that we have enough energy to sustain us for the man is going to come in the timeline we want him to come. Well, I feel like a wise woman is one who would take the money she's working for and build something so that just in case he doesn't come, she has some retirement. She's good in her finances. She's not waiting for, or she's not spending everything thinking when he comes he's going to save her, but she's actually a reflection of that virtuous woman that we talk about in Proverbs 31. So I definitely don't think it's, wasting money on hair, nails, for especially now for the selection that we got. I'm sorry, but we don't have Berkey and we don't have them kind of men. We don't have a lot of them. I'm just saying, like we could just put it down and just go ahead and kind of live life.
Right. And they
And
did,
at the end of
and if they do, you're really gonna have to deal with a lot of stuff to get them Birkin bags and Balenciagas and Louis and Gucci's and whatever. Like if it's not 70% off on the clearance rack, mama ain't getting
You
it.
better say
Louis,
it.
my mom said if it's not $6 or less, it is not a sale. I'm like going to the lowest. You will never catch me spending $200. Well, tennis shoes. I work in the health field, so I need good shoes. But I still don't like even spending that. No, I can't. My kids, look, we'll go to the Goodwill. I'm not playing with you. I can't do that. I can't. I don't care how. I don't pay rent. I don't have a car note, but I'm still not gonna pay all that money to look
Yeah,
good for him. And he can go leave me tomorrow, and I done spend $1,000, $1,200 on all this stuff, and he just messed my hair up, messed my clothes messed up. They on the floor. I done messed them up, messed my hair up. He not finna go pay $110 to get it redone. I really waste the money. No, no, ma'am.
I was I was just gonna say that like you spending all this money and at the end of the day, again, like I said, you're attracting the wrong type of guy. You attract
Mm-hmm.
a little boy at the end of the day. When a little boy's toy car gets messed up and get a little scratch on it, 9 times out of 10 he don't want to play with it no more. So when
Mm-mm.
you actually start developing them crow's feet and those boobs start to sag a little longer the older you get and you got all these frown lines and more stretch marks on your body, he just gonna leave you. And you gonna be sitting there looking crazy, like, oh, I did all this just for this man to step out on me and leave me and play with the next thing.
Yeah.
Don't do
All all because you ignorant to the fact that all you think all that money just gonna keep him. He gonna go find somebody that's natural, takes care of themselves, takes care of their kids, don't be broke, to make him to look good. He'll appreciate it that day, and he gonna be gone to the next. Or
he
go
said
back
that
to
day.
who he was messing with. That's why you see me pretty once, and then I'm testing you. I'm gonna wear nothing. I'm gonna be plain Jane. I'm be wearing jacked up clothes, and let me see if you still like me after you see me cute that day. Let's try. I've done that too. April, I've kept a couple, but you know.
You say you don't.
You know, when you got that problem, the man gonna have that problem too. Like, what if he like designer clothes and all that stuff? You gonna be broke because now he ain't gonna mess with you because you ain't got no money to buy him no designer clothes either.
And see, I'm just not into this. Like, I mean, I don't know when this whole thing switched where women was like, I take care of my man, I'll buy him this. And that's cool when y'all taking care of each other. Because me, I'm about partnership. I'm big on partnership. But just to be bragging about like I bought him this, I bought him. I love watching court TV, and I'm bothered because so many women. I take care of him as if it's demeaning him. It's like no, actually, you're looking bad by sitting here bragging about how you take care of him and making him feel like he's nothing on TV.
Yeah.
When honestly, it's like you're not exposing anybody but yourself while you're taking care of a grown man. And that's why I said we work so hard. We put all of our energy in doing a job of two, and we wear ourselves out, and at the end we be broke, and he goes on and moves on to the next woman, and we wasted all that time, that money that we could have had. I mean, I'm just saying 30 grand in 1 year. We could have put
Right.
that up. We could have bought a place. I mean, even to the degree of this, if you think about four women, okay, so we pay rent. Well, I pay mortgage, but like rent, when I was in my apartment, it was about $1,000 for 700 square feet. So if you got like a four family unit and four women moved in there, that probably would be about 250 to $350,000 for the building. The mortgage on that may be about $1,800 to $2,000. Say it's $2,000. You split that four ways. How much is that per unit? That's
That's
$500.
yeah.
So if four women were smart enough to buy a 4 unit apartment building and stay in each unit, that's $500. You don't have to worry about people going up and down on your rent. And then if you decide to get married and y'all can sell it, usually it goes up if you took good care of it. It appreciates. So it's an investment thing, and a lot of women don't look at it. We're so focused on like I want this dream, and we're not realizing that Proverbs woman, she was wise and she was a businesswoman. And so if you're looking to be a good wife, you got to use your brain. You have, it's use let your husband he should be proud of you. He should be able to trust you. He should be able to put his confidence in you. That's what the word says, to put his confidence in you, knowing that you can actually make $1 out of 15 cents.
Correct. What
Yes.
about a man just wants, like, we working so hard to spend all this money for them. What if they just want my taking care of is not spending money on him, even though I like to on your birthday, Christmas, Father's Day if you're a good dad, if you deserved it. But what if a man just wants you to cook him dinner or fill his heart with, talk to him about God, even if you don't know, bring those type of things. What happened to that's the stuff that don't cost you.
Because like Marquita said, we have a lot of men who are not, they're not mature yet. They're still playing. So, and it's up to us to because we keep entertaining it, and they got stuff to play with. So why should they grow up? We got to stop all of that. So this next question, Marquita, what steps can us women begin to take to develop healthy relationships with each other?
Um, One of the most important things, I feel like being vulnerable with each other. We share similar experiences as women. You know, we're capable of bearing children. We are usually the lesser person to get paid, especially if it's a male dominated industry. So we share similar experiences. So being able to be vulnerable and share your testimony, keyword testimony, because you could break someone free. You can break those chains off of someone just strictly by saying, listen, sis, I understand that you probably, for example, just had a miscarriage. I know what it feels like. But guess what? I kept trucking through. I leaned on God in this season. And guess what? I'm now a mother of 3, 4, 6, 10 children. You know, being able to talk to women who have gone through those same traumatic experiences as you. Being able to talk to women who have gone through the same positive experiences as you, like just being able to have that rapport with each other, I think is really, really important when building healthy relationships with each other as women. I will also say, as it was stated in the book, we got to stop being so jealous of each other. We got to stop comparing ourselves to each other. We always got to be competitive. We always got to say something slick about each other. It's just like that's really not even uncalled for. So how can we stop being jealous? Let's just celebrate each other. Oh, sis, you got a promotion. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm still working here and I'm making this amount of money, but guess what? I know my time is coming, but sis, congratulations on your promotion. You got that 6-figure check. Now, pray over me so I can get the same thing,
Right.
be able to just celebrate each other and compliment one another. And if it's something that you see on a woman that is like, man, I wish I had like her stomach, like, says, can you give me some tips? Because I keep doing sit-ups and this ain't working for me. Like, just be able to just talk to each other and just love on each other and stop making everything a competition. I'll also say pay attention to how you talk to other women. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is and who started this, but sometimes women have a tendency to call each other out their names, whether it's the B word, the HOE, a slut, all this kind of stuff. Like, you don't, let's not do that. Let's take that out of the equation. We just sister. That's all. We sis, or whatever your name is. I'm just gonna call you that. We gotta learn how to stop talking to each other reckless, because that only gives permission to men to talk to us reckless. That's why they disrespecting us. That's why so many men are out there calling their girlfriends and some wives the B word. It's just like, but you allow your homegirl to call you that, so why can't I? We got to stop doing that. Understand that we are sisters. Hopefully sisters in Christ. But anywho, I would say also, as my girl Lucretia, my fellow shorty, when we actually started talking about this, like, why is it that women can't have mature conversations with each other when it comes to, hey, I'm offended by something that you said or did? Why is it that we won't go up to the girl to confront her in a nice way, a really nice way? You ain't got to be like, hey, what's up? You ain't got to do none of that, but just come up to a woman, be like, listen, I got a problem with the way you spoke to me earlier, or I got a problem with you ignoring me around these other people. I got a problem with you talking to everybody else except for me, because that actually happened to me. Anywho, we should be able to, as women, sit each other down and be like, listen, I'm offended by this. And be calm about it. Don't be snarky. Don't have an attitude. Just literally just have a genuine conversation about that. If I got a problem with you, I'm going to let you know. And if you got a problem with me, please let me know and not say some slick stuff under your breath every time you see me. So understand that it is some power in having mature adult conversations. And I would say, last but not least, the best way to really truly build healthy relationship amongst each other is to attend women's events. Join women groups on Facebook. Be around women. You can't sit up there and say like, oh well, I want women friends, but I don't like people. Where you gonna get with that? Like, literally, no. Like, what? Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, a woman that you actually converse with at a women's event, or a person that you reach out to, or someone reach out to you via a women's group, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna like the person. We can't build healthy relationships with each other if we're too busy ignoring each other or not wanting to be around each other. So just get yourself out there, be vulnerable, and meet other women, even if you feel like you don't like women. You like yourself, I hope. So why not sit up there and have friendships and actually be vulnerable with other women? And I want to actually give a testimony, because I was in that space where I just didn't like people once upon a time. So I went to a predominantly white institution. It was Marquette University here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I met my friend group. It was 3 other Black women, and they were amazing, y'all. Like, we did what young ladies do. We party. We did all that kind of stuff. We party. We hung around each other. We sang. We did all this kind of fun stuff, right? But then fast forward to our senior year, and things just kind of like dwindled. I didn't see them as much. It was a little bit of drama that happened, and after that drama, and this is 2016. So my senior year was 2016. I'm like, you know what? Forget them. I don't need them. I don't have anything to do with them. Forget all of them. And you know what? Forget church folks too, because I didn't care about nobody. I'm like, as long as I got God and my man, I don't care about none of these other people. I don't want to talk to nobody because the way that they did me, I'm not gonna allow nobody else to treat me like that again. So again, that's 2016, y'all. 2019, fast forward to 2019, God had to check me because we do need to fellowship with one another. And again, there is value, there is beauty, and there is power when women come together. So I it got to the point where I started being more open with myself, like and other people. So when I hang around different crowds of people, I'm putting myself out there. I'm talking to them. I'm conversing with people. I was very very shy. I didn't want to talk to nobody, but I'm like, you know what? God told me I need to start talking to people and be more open. So it got to the point where God was working on me, and then in 2020, the beginning of 2020, I believe my church had a women's event and it was at a hotel. So I'm like, it'd be nice to meet some women's, converse, have some, and it was a panel discussion too, which, you can send in questions and they'll answer it. So I'm like, let's go. I want to see what this is about. I end up making it there to the hotel and I'm asking the receptionist, like, okay, so where is this women's event? Because I'm lost at this point. So the receptionist told me where to go, and as I'm walking, it was another woman who goes to the church who was walking with me. So we started talking, and it was just like an instant, just like this is my friend type of vibe. I really don't remember how the conversation even started. I just remember I was vulnerable with her. I was sharing things with her. We was laughing, we was joking, and she was actually vulnerable with me. She didn't tell me all her business, of course, but she told me some of the issues and a little bit of glimpse into her marriage at that time. So it was just like I'm feeling good because I'm like, oh, she's trusting me, a mere stranger, with this kind of information. And I'm like, oh wow, like, and she was like, I think we're gonna be friends. I'm like, I think we're gonna be friends too.
It's
So
cute.
she at my left, and then it's another young lady at my right. I end up start talking to her like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? She told me her name. Come to find out, she actually at that time attended Marquette University. So we started getting into that conversation, and I remember just walking away from this whole women's event just feeling so good because I got both their numbers. I'm like, oh, that was easy. Like it ain't hard to make friends. So just letting y'all know, like, if you really want to develop healthy relationships, be around women and don't be snarky and catty.
Yeah, and it sounds like what you did because you stepped out in faith, even though kind of was feeling some kind of way prior to that. You stepped out in faith, and then God showed up. He
Mhm.
let you know, like this is you're not your comfort zone. This is your not your comfort zone. So stepping out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
allow Him to show up and say, hey. So anyway, Nikki,
Mhm.
same with you. What steps do you believe us women can take to develop healthy relationships with one another?
I think, like Markeita said, we can fellowship with each other. Um, don't be so judgmental. Get to know each other. If you hear another person having a problem, money, housing, food, we all come together, say, hey, this young lady over here needs help. She's got children, they need this and need that. And I think if we all think of each other as sisters,
Mhm.
friends, women of God, Proverb 31 women, I think we would be um, in a better place. I couple things that have happened to me, even with my mother. I remember her one time. Okay, I'm a little bubbly. I was a cheerleader in twice schools. I was just bubbly, okay? So one time, this lady got mad at me, and I was working in Tennessee. And this is really my first time working around a lot of black people, black women, period. A lot of them I've always worked around a lot of white women. So this particular time, I was with a lot of black women, and this black woman, she was like, "Why are you always so like happy and stuff like that?" I said, "Well, how am I supposed to be? Do I need to come to work sad and crying? Can't do my job. I'm a CNA, so I can't be bringing that to my job, And she thought something was wrong with me. She got really mad at me. I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm gonna pray for you." Oh, when I said that, she got heated, and I was just like, "You know what?" That lady, she was sad. She was just sad. Why are you coming for me? My mom even told me I was crazy
Mm.
Yeah,
because I
I
was
found out
sad.
too. I found out too, like me praying to ask God to help me to be content with where I am. I've been attacked because of that. And I think women, because I'm like, why you keep coming for me? And I just feel like people, they can't, or women in particular, what's she happy for? And they just want to attack that. Which just being having joy.
Yes, what you not happy for? Like, what? Who made you mad? Like, we need to figure. They want to talk about it. You need a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will help you anyway. I don't think so many people are so unhappy with being evil and mean. Just stop. Like, that doesn't. It just comes back in full circle. Like, let's all just be cool with each other and get the most from each other. Let's get all the wisdom we can from everybody that we meet. Pray for each one that we meet, introduce them to God if that's what you want to do it. It's just so hard these days because some of these girls out here, these men done broke their hearts of mama or the daddy, and then you're the enemy. Like, dude, I just met you. I don't even sleep with you. I don't pay your bills. Why are you coming for me?
None
Like,
of it. And they
not
don't
because they're what is that, misery loves company. I don't want to. I want to
Yeah,
be your
and
company.
what they don't realize is that while we're crying about all the crime and stuff, we try misery loves company. So because we got a nasty attitude, we ain't feeling life like that, and you happy, I'm gonna try to make you unhappy. You don't know what my unhappy look like. I had I because I've been saved, one of my family members tried me, and I ain't gonna lie, I had to kind of put hands on them. And their response was, "I thought you was saved." And I said, "We not fit to go there, but this is why you want me in church." Because it's like you don't know Jesus, when he saved me, he saved a few people. I'm not even kidding. That ain't even a joke. But he saved a few people. And while you just mad and got an attitude, you trying to pull this person down. You don't know what's behind that. You know what I mean? You don't know what's behind why they need to stay happy and why they need to stay that way. Because it may be something you don't want to see, is what I'm trying to say. And so Satan is using you, and he will definitely turn on you and let that that lion roar and get on you, and then sitting there like, what, you didn't have to do me like that. No, you shouldn't. You just should have just left it alone.
Exactly.
It's a setup. The enemy is not, he don't care about any of us.
He really don't. He will take you out of your whole walk, real, real, right quick. Yeah, I think us ladies, we really need to pull together a lot more. We have a whole village to raise, and sometimes
Amen.
we need that other person. I remember many times having a village for my daughters, because I had to go to work, or my ex-husband, we had to go to work, and them two younger ones was there. So they weren't finna open the door for nobody. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? Don't open the door because we got a key. We can get in. I needed that village. I needed those ladies for those couple hours to help me out. If you need my help, I got you. You need some food. You need a ride to work.
Yeah, I missed
You know,
that. Yeah.
all
And
of that.
And then just looking at the women in the church, because there's so many, like, because when I came, I was for real, like, Lord, we're going to make a difference. And I just was shocked. And I'm saying in leadership, like all this fighting and stuff. And it's like, for one, you ain't had a fight in 20 years.
Okay.
Mm.
You know, like you need to chill out. We need to just really be saved because if we really honestly was caught up on our bluff, a lot of them, us would be embarrassed.
Sure
You know,
would.
because the Lord would take his hand off and say, okay, you know, you got this, and you'll be embarrassed. But we just need to honestly start loving on each other in the church. It's a waste of time for us. It's so many things we need to do in the world. Like one of my things as far as being single is doing volunteer work, and it's so much that so much love that's needed. People who don't have, who need mentoring, who have moms and dads who are not there, who've been abused, and God made us women to be nurturing. And instead of us being mean and evil and chasing after men who ain't ready, there's so many other things that we can be doing with this time. And we'll be developing into that virtuous woman. Because I don't care how much you throw lace wigs on and all this Burberry and Gucci. At the end of the day, when he's looking for a wife, you got to show up as a wife. And when a man is looking for a wife, he's looking for somebody nurturing. He's looking for somebody who's going to be there, who's going to make things feel better, who's going to make a house into a home. And you need that practice. It doesn't just happen. If you're not practicing it while you're single, you just going to be a dressed up somebody he don't want to be around.
Right. You're right
So,
about that.
so now my answer to this approach of us trying to develop healthy relationships with each other is really starting off with a healthy relationship with ourselves. When we don't like ourselves, it's kind of hard to like other people. It's that simple. And so getting to know why God brought us onto this earth, what purpose we have on the earth, and embracing our differences because he made us different for a reason. Like I just really want us to see that there's beauty in all of us. There's something that we bring, the creativity, a beautiful face, beautiful voices, and it blesses us. So it's silly for me to be jealous of, say, Markeita because she can sing, because when she sings, she's giving that gift to me. I get to hear good music. I mean, who really wants to hear somebody off key?
Right.
You want to be able to enjoy the music. Um, and just it's so allowing us, God, he expressed creativity through women, and he made us with different faces and different body shapes on purpose. So we're not supposed, I know the world is trying to package us up, but if we look around, the creator meant for us to all look different. So if we really embrace that concept, I don't have to compete with her. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When he made me, he had a special mode in mind, and there's nobody who can be me. And just really rocking with that. And so then it's easy for me to celebrate you. It's easy for me to celebrate you because I'm in my lane. I know my purpose. I know me. So just discovering who you are and really falling in love with you, I think that helps with being able to embrace other women. Um, so now this next question, I'm going to shoot it over to you, Marquita. If we as women ever got to a place where we come together in peace and unity, how do you think that would impact the world?
Um, One, I would say that if we come together in peace and unity, I think a lot of our younger girls and teenagers would not have to battle so much with insecurity and any kind of form of desperation, and not comparing young girls, not comparing themselves to other young girls as well. I think overall, like when it comes to romantic relationships, will look quite different because if we're coming together, we're able to, let's say, speak some sense into one another. Like, no, sis, don't allow this, don't allow that. Does this make sense? Is he lacking on this? Okay, I think you should take a step back. I do think that romantic relationships will look a lot differently. I think that it may not just be, and I hated to put it this way, but the baby mama, baby daddy thing. Like, I think it'd be more marriages. I think it'd be more genuine love amongst these romantic relationships. And I will also say that when it comes to jobs, typically men like to pit us women against each other. Also, men, not all men, of course, but some men like to, let's say, they take a lot of their power that they have, whether it's the owner or CEO, And they like to basically use their status and their position to sexually harass women. I feel like when we come together like that in peace and unity, I think that will be more of a lesser thing that will happen. Men will not even try us because guess what? They got a whole army of women behind them that will stand firm and got their girls back. And on top of that, I would say, uh, like I lost my train of thought. On top of that, so I was reading an article talking about a Harvard article. I think it was in a Harvard article. About women. It was a study with men and women, and it was talking about their inner circles and the success that it will bring. And the study actually found that successful women, especially like in the corporate and just business settings, if they have an inner circle of successful women, that woman is actually most likely to be successful as well. Because when you have a whole like group of like five women, let's say, and they're all CEOs or they're an account executive here and whatever the case may be, you literally have women that are in these high positions that could literally help you attain the position that you want, a higher ranking, a higher pay, a higher position. So I thought that was really interesting because when we think about that, it's like, can you imagine the single women, the single mothers out in this world that are struggling to make ends meet because they don't have great pay because we're women, we really don't get great pay. Can you imagine that? But actually be a single mother that can actually hold down the fort and feed her one plus kids without having to worry and cling on to a man to financially provide for her. I think it's something powerful in that, where it's like, again, thinking of it as a sister bond. You would never leave your sister hanging. So it's like, look, our firm is hiring, our agency is hiring. I advise you to take this position. I'll put a good word in for you. And guess what? This girl is making six figures. So I really like the fact that just it's something so powerful and beautiful about women coming together because we would take the world by storm. I'm not saying like I don't want to take out of context, but I really do feel like we will really truly be so much powerful. Like we'll rise up as just powerful women together when we actually got each other's back. So that would be like how I feel like things will change and more spiritually. I would say that also would draw people nearer to God because when you see a bunch of women coming together, it's something that is very hard to imagine right now. But when you see that happening, it's like you're actually seeing the love that God gives to his children. We're able to love on each other. We're able to support each other. We're able to celebrate one another. So being able to exhibit and be a reflection of God's love will pretty much draw people more closer to God because you are also exhibiting and practicing those fruits of the spirit as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Good points. Okay, so Miss Nikki, how would you think we would impact the world with unity and peace as women?
I think that if we all come together like that, we can get our younger generation to actually going back into respecting our elders and our women of middle aged or older than them, so they know how to love and respect each other, and then they can get respectful men and not just any old thing. You know, we can introduce them to God if they don't know about God, or we can give them so much more than what they actually can offer anybody until they can get that situated with themselves. I think we should just really we just have to go back to to the drawing boards and teaching our girls how to respect ourselves and how to love ourselves all over again. And one time we had that power. Now it's just everybody just beats each other up all the time, you know. And we don't need that. We need positivity, love, and respect. So
Yeah, I say that in that situation where as women can come together unified and in peace, we would impact the world because we would increase our value.
Mm.
We will
yeah,
increase our value when we can. can, for one, trust each other and value each other's opinion, know that like this is my girl, she has my back. And so when men come up, because we do, I've said this a few times to women, God made us nurturing. It's nothing wrong with wanting to love our man. But what we have to do, like the word said, guard our heart with all diligence. I know me. And so there's things that I fall for easily. So your sister would be like, girl, you doing it again. You pull out of it, and you need to trust that she has my back. So if we do that, then men can't play games with us. If when we understand that, okay, we have the sisterhood, they love me, men can't play games. And when they see that kind of unity, the men would then want to step up. Like you said, why would I want to change as a man if I able to play these games and it's fun? I get what I want. So when they can't get what they want, when they actually have to work for a living because they're hungry and they need to eat and they need a place to stay, and they can't live off of me, and they realize like, oh, the towels don't just wash themselves, I literally got to do that. Oh, food don't just hop into the refrigerator, I got to go buy that. We increase our value because then we are mature, letting our men mature. When a man is living off of us, he's living like a child. And I'm gonna say it like this: with me, the reason why I want a partner is because if I am doing everything, I will feel like I am raising a child, and I probably wouldn't want to sleep with him because it would be like child molestation.
Mm.
How deep is that? But a lot of men, you don't want to work, you want to complain, you want to play the video game, you don't want no woman.
Right.
So I can't do that. I need a man who's at least doing what I'm doing, and we're partnering together. Because then again, then don't touch me because I'm not into kids.
Or
And so
working towards what you.
no, but no, it's not even, I'm saying the mindset, not so much as I'm saying doing what I'm doing, being concerned about, are we eating food today? Or is the lights going to be on? Or do we have enough money to cover? Like understanding this is our stuff, not looking at me like, well, you supposed to do that when we both benefit from that. So that's what I'm saying, the mindset of not what we bring to the table, because my husband may bring more, than I do, but I'm going to still show up. I'm not going to, what do we need? I've had it where I've been in a household where I'm the only one concerned about the important stuff. And I don't want to ever have to do that again. And then it's all on me. It's you show up as partners as adults. And again, if we are as women, if we let these men who are playing games just be off to themselves, if we stop taking care of them, they'll grow up faster. But as long as they're able to play games, they are not. What incentive do they have to grow up? They don't have to. They have not what are Air Jordans. I mean, some of these men, I just be like, dang, you ain't worked in how long, and you looks crispy. I don't get it. While I would want to do that, I don't even like seeing. I never even like seeing my kids. Me and my son would go at it because I used to have this thing. We all helped around the house because we all used it. So if I went to work and you were off, you need to do something. When I come home, something needs to be done. So I used to get into it a lot with my son because he wanted to be down in the basement playing a video game, doing his thing. And all I would say is, by the time I get home, make sure the kitchen is done. So we would argue because I would come home, my kitchen ain't done. Well, I do when I feel like it. You don't get to tell me that because I'm paying all the bills. And he thought I was so unfair. And I had to tell him, look, if I'm taking care of you and me, I could take care of just me. So I sent him over his dad's house and things got unfair for him. And when he came over my house for the first time of moving with his dad, I made him breakfast. Girl, you would have thought I had made him some golden pancakes. He was like, Ma, these are so good. He missed the very thing that I was providing. Now, my son was a son, he was a young man. What I'm saying is, when these men are 20, 30, 40 years old still doing that, playing video games, you need to send them on their way so they can grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my whole point in that is we would increase our value. And this last question, Markeita, describe the type of girlfriend or girlfriend group you'd love to have.
First and foremost, she gotta love God. So like-minded women. On top of that, I want a female friend who could encourage me. Because it's not like we're not all delivered from all of our insecurities. So sometimes the enemy likes to pull us back into things that we literally just like broke off of us. Sometimes he like to get in your head a lot, and Satan really likes to attack my mind a lot. So to be able to talk to my friend and be like, listen, girl, I'm starting to feel like this again. I don't like where I'm at in this season. Why do I got to be so patient all the time? Like, I want a friend who will be able to encourage me. And again, being a woman of God, I need you to point me sometimes, because, like, not all the time I need that, but sometimes I need you to point me to the Word of God, because I need that from my friend.
Amen.
On top of that, and we could define this, but I want someone who's like really, really fun. A woman who could literally challenge me, get me out the house, be like, girl, we gonna see this poetry night, we gonna go to this festival, like, be fun. You can even be a little ratchet if you want to, but drama free. That's what I want, a drama free woman friend. And it's a lot. I got like a whole list, y'all. But a woman who can literally hold me accountable. Again, like I said, it be sometimes I'm just like overthinking things, and I'm like, I maybe complain about certain things that I may have complained about years ago and still in that same space. I need my friend to be like, you literally complained about this 3 years ago. What was you doing from then till now? I need someone to be hard on me and strict on me and really get me thinking like, man, it hurts in that moment, but I need you to hold me accountable. Be my accountability partner. Sis, are you praying? Have you prayed about it? Why are you complaining to me? Did you talk to God first? Hold me accountable. Um, this is one thing that I do have like two really great close friends, but I told both of them, I'm like, I'm usually the one that's reaching out to be like, hey, sis, how you doing? And it may not be all the time, and it may not be super duper consistent. But the fact of the matter is one sided. It's like, check on me. Like, y'all, listen, y'all know how I am. Y'all know I'm an overthinker. I need y'all to be like, sis, how you doing today? And it don't have to be a long conversation. We don't have to talk on the phone. You can just text me, but check on me, because it's a two-way street. I don't want to keep holding this friendship together because I'm always the one checking on you. I need you to check on me too. Yeah, I got a husband, of course, but there are certain things that a woman I need to talk to. Like, I need to talk about certain things, because again, my man can't understand everything that I'm going through. A woman can be able to better speak to me. On top of that, I want a female friend who could pray over me and who can pray with me and pray for me. Like, I need that kind of aspect of our friendship. Like, if you can't do that for me, then why are we friends? And the two good friends I do got, they definitely do that for me. They definitely pray over me. They gave me great advice. So I think just being someone who can be like a consistent support system, as well as, like I said, holding me accountable. And again, like I mentioned this too before, if you got a problem with me, talk to me. That's what I want my female friend to do, because I'm not shy about that. I had to talk to my friend twice because she did something that was kind of stupid. So I had to tell her, like, listen, and I wasn't snarky about it, but it was just like, I want to let you know that when you made this joke about X, Y, and Z, I didn't appreciate it. And sometimes you need, because she has a tendency to not think before she speak. We need to practice that, especially as women. I don't know. We're gonna pray for her. But being able to come to her and talk to her about something and vice versa. I need all those qualities plus a lot more, but I'm gonna give y'all the floor because it's a lot that I would want.
What about you, Miss Nikki? What kind of friend would you, or friend group would you like?
Well, I would like, friends that are kind of walking in the way I want to walk, even if they're struggling like I might be struggling, or they're further along than I am. As Marquita said, I have two best friends over 40 years, and you got one that just kind of, when everything started falling up, my mom died, lost grandbaby, lost the uncle. She like just all of a sudden just quit talking to me. I guess I had too much stuff going on for her. But when her dad died, I was there when. Chris and I was there, so she wasn't like that for me. My other best friend, she is, and they just have me in common. They don't come together or do things um without me. They're not. I guess they're kind of separate. One's over here does one thing, and the other best friend does another thing. So I got two friends that do the opposite things of each. So I think we just gotta have each other's best interest at heart. You know, being a friend when you need to be a friend. Fellowship, like you said, like to hold me accountable. Be like, hey Nick, I'm gonna need you to get it together. I'm be like, okay, you know, I know I'm tripping, so I need that. I need that corrective criticism. A lot of people think you'll be like, she don't want to listen to what I gotta say. I do. I can't just apply it when you want me to apply because that's what you think I should do. I'm going to take your information and thank you very much. And when I need to apply it to what I need for at that time, then it will be used. Right now, I can't use that right now. Well, I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna store it and I'm gonna place it on my spirit until I need it. But we really need to make sure we're good friends, even if we think it's gonna hurt their feelings. Tell me, even if it hurts my feelings. Correct me when I'm wrong. Don't, oh, she might get mad. So what if I get mad? Who's not gonna get mad at somebody telling you the
Uh-huh,
truth
for
about you?
some real stuff. Yep.
Oh, you think you're not gonna get mad? I got heated the other day because I thought, somebody told me something that was right. I was mad. I was gonna get it out what I wanted to say until, but when they told me to like that happened yesterday, I'm gonna need you to let that go. I'm like, okay, friend. Male, male. It didn't have to be a female. It was actually a male. I'm like, oh, okay, period. Thanks. I needed that. So I need my female to do me the same way. I need that. I need to be put in my place. I need to be told, hey, you tripping. Why you letting him do that to you?
Yeah,
You know?
and honestly, you have to know being able to handle that kind of stuff. You have to know your friends real heart. Like they got my back, and I know if they're telling me this, it's because they want to see me do better. Because my
Mm-hmm.
thing is like the way, because I'm like that, like I want.
Mm-hmm.
Do not have me walk around with tissue hanging on my booty, and you ain't telling me.
Okay.
Please tell me. That's a friend.
That
I'll
is.
be okay when the swelling go down, but don't
Right.
have me out there like that. So and I've had people who've done that before and it's like, dude, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't want you to be embarrassed? I'm more embarrassed not wondering who saw me, like, oh my God.
Mhm.
But I would have to say I want a friend like me. I feel like I'm a very good friend. I had one friend we were similar, but it was before I was really saved. And we were like, I miss the times where we would hang out at each other's house. I don't think we do a lot of that anymore. It's like I want my space, you got your space. We may text each other, but I miss like being at my girlfriend's house or her being at my house and we, sitting around watching the game or just laying on our back talking. And I'm talking about like 20s, early
Mhm.
30s, sharing things with each other, fighting with each other, but I mean fighting for each other, not necessarily physically, but you going through some girl, and me, covering her or letting her know because your husband ain't doing this here, I'm sending you a bouquet of roses and things like that. I want somebody who considers my feelings. I want somebody who would pray for me and not say I'm going to pray for you. Like I'm the type, girl, you going through, wait a minute. Let's go on a fast, a 3-day fast. We're gonna pray this. It's gonna be specific. We're gonna watch God. I want somebody like that because I'm like that. I have not had that yet. I've had people to say, I'll pray for you. And I want somebody who's very affectionate because I love affection. People who have a heart for other people and not selfish. Not a selfish friend. somebody who would see somebody going through and not, I don't like sitting around gossiping, but I need to learn how to sometimes keep my opinions to myself. But for the most part, I care. I want to help. Like, you got a problem, I want to help you, or it could be giving you some advice. Okay, you broke. Well, I seen, you kind of like you got your nails did and everything. Maybe you need to cut back. I'll give you some tips, and
Right.
not like tips. But just a friend who travel, laugh because I'm really corny and goofy. A friend who's very creative can make a situation, a bad situation, anything out of a bad situation. Like instead of always complaining, just be like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
When I was in Texas, we were coming back from somewhere and this girl rode with me. So we were talking and she had a desire to get married. Now, one of the things that I had always wanted my ex to know was that no matter what we had, whether we was in an apartment, and as long as he was doing his best, I would make the best of the situation. So, for instance, if he was doing his best, but all we could do, was be in this one bedroom apartment and there was no lights, instead of me complaining about there's no lights because I see him doing his best, I would go get candles and make a candlelight dinner or something like that. That's what I mean when I say making the best out of a situation. That's what I was trying to get out. Somebody who's not always just sitting around complaining about what's not going right, but figuring a way out to make it memorable. Um, and I'm like this, and I'll give you a clear example. So when the first year of my divorce, I felt terrible because I felt like I'm leaving the house that I built to go rent. I felt like I was going backwards. And it was just so much, it was a lot of expense that came with me moving and downsizing and all of that. So I had told my kids, what if I can't buy you anything for Christmas this year? Because we went through a lot. So my daughter was like, well, it's okay, mama. And my son was like, well, what's the point of even getting up in the morning? so so I flipped out. Like, I'm like, you so ungrateful. You would make me feel bad. But I said, this is what we gonna do. We're gonna re-gift. So you gotta find a gift around the house and then you gotta explain it like why you gave it to the person. So I actually ended up buying them Christmas gifts that year. I was just challenging them. But do you know we remember the regifting gifts more than we remember the actual gift?
What?
Because that's making the best of that situation. Because I could have been bummed out, and mad, but I made it into a game, and we actually laughed about the gifts. And when I gave them the real gifts, they was just like, "Oh, thank you." But just like so that time of me like not having, it's like I had it. I ain't gonna even say like I had it bad. It's just that we did go, we downsized. I would, we would go for walks down Lake Drive and just, like this is my house or whatever. Just because I know how to make the best out of any a situation. I try to at least. I'm not sitting around complaining. I do want a friend who would do that. So I said all of that because I have had a taste of a good friend, but I haven't had it since I've been over here on the side of the Lord.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, ladies. I kind of want to conclude the show with this because I don't think we have thought about it. Maybe we have, but I heard this statistic that out of like we outlive men 1 to 5. So for every one man who makes it to 80, 5 women make it to 80.
Okay.
So the importance of us healing our relationships, making healthy relationships with each other is so that we have a healthy, long life. Because if we start out now hating other women, we gonna be that lady living in a shoe or living alone with 12 cats
Right. The
because
cat.
there's not going to be a lot of men around and or unless we change this narrative of men talking and expressing themselves. Well, I'm still believing in faith that we will, but and I know this is for a fact because when I was in Texas I was on the singles ministry and we helped out a lot. We helped out a lot in the 65 and up ministry, and there was a lot of women. They were funny as ever, but there were more women than men, and I saw how they got together. They played spoons, and girl, you could get probably killed messing with their spoons or their game, but just the joy that they have with each other. And if we keep going along with this, I hate all females and blah blah blah, we're not gonna have much of a happy life. We're not gonna have a joyous life. There is so much comfort and sisterhood. As you grow up, I'm 49. People are dying off. I see it already. Schoolmates and family members, and especially now during this pandemic, people are dying, and your circle gets smaller. Your circle gets smaller, and we need to befriend as many people as possible, because women comfort. Like when people start dying, you're really not going to find comfort, getting pat up by men, and they're not finna come over cooking for you, and while you laying in the bed with tissue all around you, so women bring that nurturing aspect that is not just beneficial for men, but beneficial for us too. So it's important for us to embrace uh, our sisterhood, but challenge us to be healthy. So I'm not saying just take any old raggedy, friendships, but really developing these healthy friendships with each other and challenging each other. Hey, Rock family. Sometimes certain topics can trigger old emotions. So if at any point during this head trauma discussion season you feel you need to talk to someone, please do. And for some reason, if you do not have access to a trusted source, feel free to check out some of our recommendations by visiting www.rockwithmenow.com. Once at the homepage, select the Rock Challenges tab, and then filter through the list available to see what may possibly suit you. Hope you enjoyed today's show. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you.